Hey everybody, Jimmy with the Triple C Collective, and
Collin here.
we are ready, dude. Can you believe it? It's been 30 years.
No, man.
Of
I was
Batman.
6.
Batman Forever.
Yeah.
30 years old.
Yeah.
30-year anniversary, so we have to talk about it.
For sure.
This movie has always been wild and wacky.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? Did you see this in theaters?
I don't think I saw it in theaters. Now that I'm thinking back, home video is when I saw it. For
Home
sure.
video?
This is a Blockbuster rental. How about you?
I for sure saw this in theaters with my cousin Mike.
Nice.
Shout out Mikey. And this is definitely one of those times because in the early 90s, from like about 94, 5, 6, and 7, my cousin Mike, me, and his dad would go to like all of the summer blockbuster movies.
Nice.
So like we saw everything. Independence Day, Batman, all of the stuff that like everybody that you would expect to see in theaters and stuff. Like we saw all the Star Treks that were coming out then because like that's actually how I got into Star Trek. Little side note is through my cousin and like my uncle and everything. But so we saw all of these movies, all these summer blockbusters. This was for sure. I mean, I'm like 6, 7 years old, right? Like, you know, this is straight up our alley.
Yep.
I mean, to the point of like,
I definitely would have had that. Yeah.
Like, I still got my VHS.
That's awesome.
And so like home video, obviously this was like a huge thing.
As a 7-year-old, I could definitely say this was like it.
Yeah,
this was the Batman. You know, this was the one I was watching. Or 6-year-old actually. Yeah, this is the one I was watching, and this was the one I had all the toys for sure.
Right? Like, I mean, I still got my original Two-Face figure.
Amazing.
Right? Like 30-year-old Two-Face figure.
As much as we could say about this movie, he looks great.
Right? Like, still got that. And of course, my really messed up 30-year-old Batmobile. But like, hey, I still got it.
Yeah.
I love this thing.
Still sweet.
You know what? Let's dive into some of our favorite things about this movie.
Sure.
Because this movie is all over the place. And I know my views kind of have changed over time. Yes and no, but kind of not really.
I'll stick up for this movie for my 7-year-old self.
Yeah.
But I realize the flaws. I'm not blind to.
There's a lot of nostalgia that holds my heart to this movie. Like, and I mean, we got to talk about it. Like, I mean, maybe we talk about 1995 and like what that is. Maybe even before we dive into our favorites.
Right.
Jim Carrey's in this movie.
Yeah.
So for like 5
Shout
and
out.
6, yeah. Ace Ventura comes out in 94.
Right.
Dumb and Dumber comes out in 94. And The Mask comes out in 94. Jim Carrey has like the biggest year ever in 1994.
And yeah,
with those three.
As a 6-year-old, he's
the
like
funniest guy in the
yeah,
world.
He's my god. Yeah.
Like he's the
him and Adam Sandler were gods, and Chris Farley.
Right.
So yeah, to see him in Batman, what? I'm going to see that.
And like not playing the good guy though. Like he's a bad guy.
Exactly.
And he's like, and like all of his like craziness and like, you know, over the topness, which can be like discussed. Is it really like a Riddler thing? If you, like, I guess, go back to the comics and like things like that. Is it really? Is it not? I don't know. But like, there's some things about Jim Carrey's Riddler that I love. And like in doing the research for this, yes, I did listen to the Joel Schumacher commentary track for this. We did watch all of the making ofs and stuff of Batman Forever.
Joel Schumacher is unironically wearing a puka shell necklace, and it's amazing. So yeah, I'm down. I know. After watching all that, though, it also made me appreciate what he was doing and who he was making this movie for. And it was 7-year-old Collin, 6-year-old Collin, and 6-year-old Jimmy. So I appreciate that. As much as it's not my favorite by any means nowadays, as for a Batman fan, I'm an adult now. So the Batman movies for me are different.
Right. And but it's true. Like in that commentary track, he says it about 4 or 5 different times that like he is trying to make a movie that is meant for kids and maybe some adults can enjoy it too. Because like there's still some like I guess like risky jokes or whatever
but that's always
that's gonna go over a 6-year-old's head.
Like Looney Tunes did that, you know.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It's all over.
There's always going to be a bit of that type of stuff, but he wanted to make a living comic book, and he wanted to make it from the 7-year-old's fantasy. He didn't want to make it from an adult's fantasy. Like nowadays, the Batman, which I love, is more of an adult fantasy version of of the Batman, and
Right.
this was more of a child fantasy version of the Batman, and it sometimes it sometimes played a little fast and loose with the rules, right? But yeah, it was interesting. It was flamboyant. It was over the top. It was insane.
Right. One of the things that I found out for like one of the most 1995 things about this is that in the commentary track, Joel Schumacher is like, yeah, and the executives at Warner Brothers at the time didn't think Nicole Kidman was sexy enough to play the love interest of Val Kilmer in
Nice.
Batman. And I'm just like,
I'm gonna need to see these executives.
Like we got to talk about this.
Yeah,
like what are we talking about? 95? Like that's like I mean Nicole Kidman even for Baby Girl last year still has it. Like she is an amazing her sex appeal in this, like her really going after like Batman and stuff. It's like it's something obviously
it's almost funny, yeah.
Silly, 6-year-old me is just like, oh, okay, she's
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to date cool Batman? Yeah. It's like, but now as an adult, you're like nobody acts like that. But it's again, it's this fantasy version that Joel Schumacher's making. He's trying to make his own world, and she definitely fits right in, and she is definitely sexy enough. Warner Brothers executives who are probably very average white males.
Yeah, right.
You'll never catch us talking shit about women.
Yeah, right. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So one of the other most 1995 things I think about this is the In Vogue cameo.
Yeah.
Did you know about this? Because I obviously
it's not something that I like popped out at me or that, but it definitely makes sense,
right?
You know?
In like seeing this in theaters, 6-year-old, no idea who they were or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Obviously now I'm a little bit more well versed.
Yep.
But it's one of those things that like Joel Schumacher talks in the commentary track. He was like, they were fans of Batman and they wanted to be in the movie, and he was like, sure, come on down and play.
And to be fair, that's one of my favorite scenes like in any Batman movie. Like I just like, as far as the way it looks, I love the black light scene. Like it's really cool looking.
Yeah, let's give a little bit more context. The scene that they're in is where Robin steals the Batmobile and then reveals himself in like the black light city with all the crazy colors and like the whatever, and then like Batman shows up, but it's all in that, like they're the women who like are like, you're not Batman and stuff, like all just like making fun of him, making fun of Dick Grayson, you know, Chris O'Donnell. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good scene. He's Chris O'Donnell. Let's talk about him now. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? So for me, like I'm wearing my Nightwing shirt.
Yeah, right now. I know.
Yeah. Like Robin, Nightwing, Dick Grayson, one of my all-time favorite characters ever. So for me, at 6 years old, seeing like going from Batman the Animated Series to seeing him like Chris O'Donnell, like it was perfect.
Again, also as a 6-year-old, Robin is the character you're gonna attach to because he's the one. Oh, you could be Batman's sidekick. You know what I mean? And Robin was always created for that intended purpose. So it's cool that they gave us that in this movie, you know.
Absolutely. So like I always have loved Chris O'Donnell and Robin and all of that.
Yeah.
You know,
like nowadays I'd be like, if they were casting it, I'd be like, he's a little too old, you know what I mean? But like back then as a kid, I didn't notice any of that stuff.
Right. I also love Two-Face. Like Two-Face is one of my all-time favorite comic book characters ever. So like I do love his inclusion here. He's just like this feels like the version of Two-Face that should have been in Batman 66 almost.
Yeah.
You know, like something out of that.
Yeah, because it's campy.
It's super campy.
But there's a level to the camp when it gets just too over the top, or even as an audience member, you're like, whoa.
One thing I will say in defense of Tommy Lee Jones, his whole performance and everything of Two-Face in this movie, is that truly in the opening scene with the bank, with the like security guard before he tosses him into like the acid vault and stuff, like he really is playing like a smart, conniving, like suave, like district attorney there. And then when they do the face reveal, that's where it like all becomes big, like Jim Carrey and stuff in this. But there is a moment there where it would have been awesome to see like that performance throughout the whole movie. And like even if
you should have, like we talked about this before filming, but we should have seen a more straight man Tommy Lee Jones. And it would have bounced way better off the Riddler than but it just felt like I said before, it's the Joker is just the villain a couple different times. Like everyone's playing a version of the Joker instead of playing their character, and that's one of the things now as an adult I realize. But yes, I think Tommy Lee Jones should have honed in his performance. Just because the movie's super campy and he looks like that and stuff doesn't mean he should have, been doing these crazy cackles and stuff that are just so off-putting.
Do you have a favorite character?
It's the Riddler for sure.
Yeah.
In this movie, it's the Riddler.
What about scene? Oh, continue.
Yeah. Even scene, I could say the Riddler scene where he's in his apartment. I love that scene. When I just love how like cramped and like how much stuff he has in there and how many like little Easter eggs you could find. I just love the when he's becoming the Riddler is my favorite scene for sure. He's also kind of a crazy. I wish he would have played again. I think there's points in this movie where they played a little too far into the comedic element. It's like, yeah, it's a comic book, but there's straight parts of comic. There's parts where like there's serious things. This movie starts off with a joke by Batman. Like Batman, come on, Batman's not a joke teller. Like that's
right.
If he's funny because he's part of his funny situation. You know what I mean? Or he'll say some quip. But that one was just like, come on. Someone's got to be serious in this movie.
Right.
And everyone was just playing not like very cartoony, and I love that type of stuff. But there's a limit to a live action cartoon, right? So Jim Carrey was perfect for that role, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It's just I don't know if the vision was entirely there for the Riddler character.
But I gotta say, the one thing that I really didn't know until I listened to the commentary track and stuff is that Jim Carrey legitimately learned how to twirl that cane and like play with it and make sure all of those movements were right. Like Joel Schumacher was like, in the entirety of our filming, I think he dropped it 5 times. And that's wild to me because think about all of that cane play. Like once he's in the Joker or the Riddler suit, like think about all that cane play that he's doing. Just
and he
twirling.
makes it look easy.
Yeah.
And that's because he practiced a lot.
Exactly. So that again, like this movie is like wacky and over the top, but there are just
everyone's
some things...
giving it their all, and you can tell, and to better for better or for worse, that everyone's definitely giving it their all,
and everybody cares. And like everybody seems to care about what they're trying to do and put on screen and everything like that.
They're trying to represent a movie that's being clearly made as a vision for children.
Yeah, and like that's okay. It's like it's okay. Like Star Wars was also meant for like 12-year-olds as well. Like 12-year-olds and under. Like it's okay. If you don't connect, it's all right.
Yeah. As an adult, if you don't connect, it doesn't mean things are bad. It just means maybe it's not for you.
Yeah. You grew up. It's okay. Yeah. A scene that I do love because you get a little big kind of Tommy Lee Jones performance. But it's still kind of honed in and menacing is the fall of Grayson's. That whole under the tent scene and like the bomb, like, he gives a little couple wacky laughs and like, he's twirling and stuff. But like he's also in a circus, so like it works for that like scene and whatnot. But like when you see Chris O'Donnell look down from like that wide shot of like his family just like laying there, like that's heart-wrenching.
It's a hard one.
Like that's tough to watch.
Yeah. And just the scene entirely, like the carnival scene, is just theatrical. It's just so like it's so cool looking. Every scene in this movie is kind of like eye popping, whether
Yeah, again, for better or worse, whether you like the aesthetics or not, like that.
So 90s, so just of an era.
Absolutely. Do you have a favorite line in this movie?
I can't think of one. How about you?
I like the chicks dig the car.
Oh
and it's the when he gets out of the car and they're like, "You're not Batman. Where's your suit? I forgot it at home." like that stuff's fun and silly. But like it is what it is. Suits. Do you have a favorite Batman suit? Because we get 2. We get like a redone version of like the Keaton, and then we get the whole like blue, prototype at the end.
Gray type thing. I like the Keaton version. I like the beginning version. Yeah.
I really like that. Like, and it's cool because they do change that bat symbol from giving it the little extra like flourish on the tail to just the straight tail and stuff. Um,
As a kid, I can't think of which one I liked better, but probably the newer one just because it was new and shiny.
yeah, right. I mean, that's also totally valid.
But we liked the cartoon, so the cartoon was pretty
I mean,
pretty.
and that was the cool thing about the cartoon too, is like it did ebb and flow. Like there were, I mean, you had the Condiment King as a villain in
Yeah.
it, you know, like
I
so
mean,
it got
but
wacky.
he's a legitimate villain, and I'll fight.
Yeah, right. But then you get something as like crazy as like On Leather Wings or like or Over the Edge later
Yep.
on and stuff, and like so you get these really like harrowing things, and that's kind of like I guess the neat pairing of like the Burden and the Schumacher stuff is like Burden is kind of wacky and big. Like you want to get nuts like that.
Yeah,
like Keaton goes kind
But
of.
he's
big.
a little darker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is a much darker tone and aesthetic and everything that you get with that. But then you get this, which is kind of like a little bit more of the happy-go-lucky, and then it goes too far in Batman and Robin. But like, because like again, Batman and Robin, I am just not a fan of. But I still hold really fond feelings of like Batman Forever and stuff.
Yeah.
Even in our like Ed and I's like ranking of the Batman movies last year for Batman Day. Like I didn't include it in my list, but it was definitely like a shout out there. Like I still like this movie. I still like to watch it.
Yeah, right.
I guess.
What do you feel about Val Kilmer as Batman and Bruce Wayne?
So I really like Val Kilmer as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. Despite that joke and despite the like shit-eating grin that he gives after talking with Chase Meridian, where she's like, "Oh no, I like Bruce Wayne," and he's just like, "Hee hee." Yeah. Like despite that, I really do like his performance because it is pretty grounded and stuff. And
I think he plays an off-putting billionaire pretty well.
Yeah.
Like he's almost like you could tell he has a harder time being Bruce Wayne in this movie. Whereas I loved Keaton's though, but like he's comfortable in the skin. He's ready to go. But Val Kilmer's is more like Mark Zuckerberg. So he's like a human. He's like a playing somebody in a human body. Like he's an alien in a human body. It's very interesting.
I mean, maybe this is where we talk about the fabled Schumacher cut, and I think that's why Kilmer's performance is really like that.
Yeah,
is because like in like a bunch of the deleted scenes. So like. Let's take a step back. A couple of years ago, like obviously during COVID, like when Snyder was getting his Snyder cut, everybody was like, "Ooh, there's this Joel Schumacher cut of like Batman Forever."
Which is like half joke, half meme, half real.
Half real, and it was like it's a 2.5 hour ish version of this movie. Would you really like to see it? All throughout the commentary track, Joel Schumacher talks about additional scenes being added. Specifically adding to like the background trauma
why Batman became Batman,
and like and Bruce Wayne and like Val Kilmer like kind of thinking about it, reflecting on it.
Which to be fair comes across pretty well in this movie that he does that this trauma is why he became, compared to the other movies where it's just like go which is fine for me as a Batman fan, but as for like a fan who doesn't know anything about Batman, like it is a interesting thing to understand why he became Batman, not just because his parents thought, you know what I mean? Like, there's more to it, and Joel Schumacher does give some weight to that part of the character,
right? And like so he even enlists Rick Baker, one of the most fabled special effects artists like ever in the world. I mean, like throughout film history, one of the best to ever do it. He makes this rubber bat that you see.
Yeah.
He makes this huge mechanical bat. He was the one who did all the makeup for Two-Face and all of that as well.
Yeah, prosthetics, all the special effects in this movie are interesting, at least.
Right.
Some of it looks like a lot like a set. Like I said to you, a lot of the sets to me look, even though it seems super big, it felt small.
Yeah.
But like as a kid, it didn't. But the sets to me, definitely rewatching it was something I noticed. Like they just feel so small. It's like the miniatures really felt like miniatures instead of like now when you see a lot of miniatures, even in some Godzilla movies from the 80s, like they were nailing it.
Yeah. So then Kevin Smith played a free screening of this of the Schumacher cut at his Smod Castle, and like you can go online and see different like people's like reviews and stuff about it, and more or less, I'm not gonna lie, if you own the Blu-ray of it, all of the deleted footage of this Schumacher cut are all in the deleted scenes.
Okay,
here.
yeah.
Like so, like it's like all of that additional
you could pretty
footage.
much put your own cut together.
Yeah. You could pretty much do it with that. There might have been because like the other thing about like the Kevin Smith screening of it and like just the special features and like the deleted scenes on like the home video physical copies, there's no like the music isn't complete in that. Some of the sound editing is just like gone and stuff. So like you have to add you have to add some imagination to this stuff. It like this Schumacher cut that's out or even played in Kevin Smith's like Smodcastle, like it wasn't completed the same way that Snyder got to complete his Justice League.
It's going to be rough when it cuts to that scene. It's going to be that deleted scene all of a sudden. Not like the music's not going to be fluid or anything. Yeah, so it's still gonna, even if you had that cut, you're still gonna be taken out of the movie. But
at that point, the best way to call it would be the Joel Schumacher work print, because they actually filmed it, and so like all of that stuff is there. And he talks about it through that commentary track. He's like, yeah, we had to cut this, had to trim here because they wanted a 2-hour movie,
and they also wanted it to not be dark, right?
Right.
I think that's the whole reason Tim Burton didn't come back.
Right.
I think the studio was kind of letting him know, you can maybe produce this next one, right? Like,
Michelle Pfeiffer in leather, like.
Yeah.
Moms were pissed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they had a lot of backlash. We have to remember, like, the times too, like. Those were considered really dark for the time. I don't think people consider them as dark now, but yeah.
I mean, Danny DeVito does eat a dude's nose off.
It's awesome.
And it's so great and bloody and gory, but like, again, it's also supposed to be like, they're supposed to be selling like toys and stuff for like
so the
everybody.
Studio wants to sell more toys, and Joel Schumacher delivered.
Right.
So he was willing to cut stuff that was not fit for the cut that they needed.
And he was willing to do it for time. So I would love to see this like put together. I've watched the like footage and stuff, and like there's really interesting things in there. And there is a lot of like that like Val Kilmer by himself as Bruce Wayne. A lot of this happens after he gets shot from Two-Face after the home invasion, if I'm being honest. And so
that's a good inflection point,
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's like after Bane breaks his back, it's a good time for him to look back at things and psychoanalyze himself,
and
try to be a little more self-aware.
Yeah, so like it's all really reflexive and stuff. I would love to see this. I don't know if I doubt Warner Brothers will ever put money behind it to do it or something like that. It would be cool.
Yeah. It would be, but it's not something I'm holding my breath for.
Right. So we talked about some of the merch. Like I've got my original Two-Face here. This is the McFarlane re-release from like 2023 or whatever.
They did a good job.
Oh yeah, they did a great job on both of these. The slight difference is that he has a gun in the original Kenner version of it. He just has his black glove here in this one. There was no like toy accessory despite him having a open hand right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I still love these. I still love my Batmobile. It's the greatest thing in the world. I love it.
That's another thing about the movie is the Batmobile's super cool.
Yeah,
like that thing doesn't make sense, but it's awesome.
Not at all. I mean, it looks it looks like something out of Alien, if we're being honest, because like
it does get some xenomorph vibes.
Yeah, some H.G. Geiger,
kind of a living machine. But it's awesome. It's really cool.
It's so good. Joel Schumacher is like one of the wildest people in the world. Yeah. Some of my favorite quotes was he literally starts the commentary track like he sees all the opening credits and he's just like, yeah, nipples on suits making national headlines. People need to get out more.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy cow, Joel, you were coming in hot.
Touch grass of back then, like touch grass, like who
right?
cares? I mean, to be fair to everyone freaking out, I don't think it should have made national headlines, but it was. What are we doing?
Yeah. It was weird. It was weird,
man.
It was definitely different.
Why you don't put nipples on T-shirts, like? But to be fair to him, it has ab cutouts and all
yeah,
that. And he was going. It's going after the Roman. I don't know if they had nipples their stuff either. But anyway, it was weird, and it is like, what is
What?
that?
Why is that happening? One of the other funny things is Joel Schumacher just like plainly is like, oh yeah, I'm sure plenty of people had fantasies about Nicole Kidman. Hell, I'm sure people had fantasies about Val too. like, like Joel,
you talking about yourself, buddy? Yeah.
What are we talking about here, man?
Yeah.
He's just so funny in it. But like,
he's a gay man. So this movie is like comes across as flamboyant, theatrical, and all the good stuff from gay culture. So like it is fun seeing him behind the scenes, kind of just be himself. He's such a cool guy. He's such a fun guy.
Watch those behind the scenes stuff, like, and listen to the commentary track. Like, even if you're like, I hate this movie, whatever, because like you can hear it. Like they wanted to make.
He has a love.
They wanted to make a good movie for kids, and in the end, like this movie is successful in that degree.
Yeah.
This is a good movie for kids. It's bright, it's fun, it's a little dark and a little risky. There's definitely sex appeal of like Nicole Kidman, and like the chemistry between her and Val totally work. Like there's no question about it. I do love this movie. It is a fun rewatch. Doing the like as wacky as some of the history and like some of Joel Schumacher's like comments and stuff are. It like he tried to make a movie for kids, and like there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I guess let's get into some like final thoughts here.
Yeah.
This movie is super wacky, as we've talked about. One thing Joel Schumacher does talk about for the color and like the flamboyantness is like he wanted to bring back those colors that were in the comics.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate.
Which Tim Burton stripped away a bit.
Yeah.
It was comic booky in its own way, but yes, it was a very Tim Burton coded thing. You know, so the colors were muted and more black and grayscale. So he wanted to bring the like, especially the Silver Age comics of like the just or the Batman he would have grown up with, which,
right?
You know, would have been
Batman 66.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even Val Kilmer talks about going to Batman 66 set when he's like 8 years old.
Oh, that's cool.
Because Val grew up in California and stuff, and like so he was able to visit the set and everything. Quick question: did you notice Jon Favreau in this movie?
No.
So in the scene after Stickley's death, like from Jim Carrey, on the far left in the shadow is Jon Favreau.
What the heck?
He has no speaking role or anything. This is 95, so it's before him and what's his name? Do Swingers?
Yep. Him and what's his name?
I don't know. Can't think of it. You know, Wedding Crashers. Not Owen Wilson.
It's
but Jon Favreau is in this movie as like one of the assistants to Wayne, and it's like so crazy seeing him in that, because I don't know if I ever noticed it before, but when I watched the commentary track, I was like, holy shit, that's him. That really is him.
That's him. There he is.
Another thing about Val at this time, like Joel Schumacher was like, oh, Val got Batman because of Tombstone. I saw Tombstone and like I was like, he's perfect for Batman.
Nice,
he'll be the greatest like Batman ever or whatever.
Plus when they have the mask on, he looks very similar to Keaton.
Yeah.
Like with the mask on, like there's something about their facial structure and stuff. Like it's a very like it was pretty seamless.
Yeah.
That way.
And like again, I do like Val as like Batman. You know, R.I.P. Val. We miss you.
Yeah.
Right. Like one of the best. He has just such a wild, crazy career. Like he's all over the place. Like I'll still always remember him showing up in like the first season of Entourage as like the super stoner guy that is the only person who has like weed on the West Coast during like a drought or something. And then like a cell phone goes off and he shoots the gun like right at it.
I love him in Heat. I know everyone talks about you know, Al Pacino
and De Niro, but like one of the cool things about Val and Heat is that like Michael Mann went to like Val was coming off of Batman and Tombstone. Val should have had his name on that poster, but Val was taking like, you know, his secondary role in that. Like he's a big lead.
He was taking a hit because Batman kind of got some critical.
Nonetheless, like Michael Mann went to him and was like, "Hey Val, we can't put your name on the poster because it's really about like these two, but we'll put your face on the poster." if you're cool with doing that.
Yeah.
And Val was like, of course.
Yeah.
And so like, because this was an issue,
He didn't
like
need his name
this
on
was
the
red
poster at
tape
that
of
time.
BS with like lawyers and agents of being like, well, Val is this and he needs this, and then like Michael Mann was just like, Val, is this cool, man?
Just going
like
straight
like
to the source.
yeah, just going straight to his actor being like, is this cool? And Val was like, yeah, I don't give it. Yeah, forget them. We're good. We're good. Do that and we're fine. And like, that's really cool because like he could have, because there's these rumors at this time too that Val is difficult to work with and like, you know, is like kind of full of himself or whatever, despite, you know, like all of these different movies. He's got Batman Forever, he's got The Sane, he's got Tombstone, he's got Heat, he's got a bunch of movies in these like 90s and stuff that he's just crushing. You know, the Doors and stuff, and everything.
Top of the world.
One random note of trivia that I found out was that Susan Sarandon and one of Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins' kids is one of the trick-or-treaters.
Oh, that's cool.
And cool. He's like the kid in the middle or whatever. And I was just like, that's really sweet. But when Joel Schumacher was working with Susan Sarandon on The Client, like after they filmed that and like he was doing Batman, like they were like, can you get one of our kids into the movie as like a little extra? And he was like, sure, we'll figure it out.
Why not? Yeah, that's fun.
You know, Joel
Schumacher.
Yeah, right. Joel Schumacher is also kind of considered as the killer of the Batman franchise with Batman and Robin, because there was even a fifth Batman plan, Batman Triumphant. After Batman and Robin bombed, it was like no go.
We gotta move on.
Yeah, we gotta move on. 1998. It's like 7 years before we get Batman Begins and Nolan and like the whole reboot into this like now.
As much as I appreciate this one, it does lead to
Batman
the downfall because of like we were talking about earlier, kind of the monetization of it. Just like the Tim Burton had a clearer vision than Joel Schumacher was more trying to set into motion a vision that the studio had, which is, you know, always going to create maybe a less artistic version of what we want to see, especially if you continue that snowball.
Right? Because just think about how many costumes all of those characters go through in that movie just to sell different toys.
And there's just a point where it's like even kids start to think you can't speak down to the point where like kids are talked about it as like they're dumb or something. They still have standards even.
Right.
Kids won't just
So one of the funniest things about the Joel Schumacher commentary track is at the end of the movie, you know, the big climax, you know, you got Robin, you got Chase Meridian in the tubes and they're falling and all of that. So Joel Schumacher's talking about one day of filming. They you know, they call cut, and then, you know, they take Nicole Kidman out of her tube, they call lunch, they shut off the lights, leave Chris O'Donnell in his tube, and everybody exits. They're playing a prank on him, and everybody exits, and like Joe Schumacher's like, yeah, we left him in there for like a few minutes, and then we went back in there and got him, and we all went to lunch and stuff. And I was just like, this movie had to have been like just chaos.
Yeah, it's probably fun.
It sounds like a blast, but it
also
sounds like chaos.
I understand why Tommy Lee Jones maybe was a little disgruntled.
Yeah, right. It's fair. But do you have any final thoughts about Batman Forever and 30 years of it, man?
I'm glad 7-year-old me had that movie. I'm glad it was around, even though it does lead into one of the worst Batmans and kind of a downfall of Batman for a while in movies. It also added, it gave me a bunch of fun memories as a kid. I can't take it away.
Absolutely. Like, I have a very fond memory of seeing this in theaters with my cousin. Doing the research and stuff for this was a real blast. It's a fun movie to revisit. That's why we picked it for our version of Batman Day for 2025.
Right.
30 years of Batman Forever. It's a great flick. R.I.P. Val, Joel Schumacher, Nicole Kidman, Chris O'Donnell, Tommy Lee Jones. They're still crushing it out there.
Yep.
So with that, I am Jimmy with the Triple C Collective.
And I'm Collin.
We want to thank you all for joining. Please like and subscribe to our video and to our channel. And as always, I am darkness.
I am darkness, aren't I?
I am night. I am vengeance. I am Batman!
All right. Let's go.
nice.